How familiar are you with your entire house? I mean, even the utility room, the basement, the crawl space, and the attic. Most of us are aware these places exist, but we don't necessarily know what to look for when it comes to these spaces. But this kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Did you ever take a class that explained exactly how to care for and maintain your house? And even if your inspector or realtor did tell you what to watch for, it often feels really ambiguous, and it certainly does not seem like a clear-cut checklist. But this makes sense. Our homes are unique depending on the builder, the age of our home, the style of our home, even the climate that our home resides in. What you need is a checklist and your own plan to know what to look for in your space and how to maintain it and reduce toxins as you go. I'm Amanda with Healthy House on the Block. I am a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert. Come along with me this week as we talk about how to get familiar with your space and how you can use the tools that I use, including my home binder, to help you manage your home in a healthier way. So if you want to create a healthier home, the first step is to really understand your home and get really familiar with spaces that might make you a little uncomfortable. The standard of a healthy home is one that has fewer toxins, it has fresh air, and the perfect humidity levels. All of these points can be changed by a multitude of different factors within your house and by your daily habits. The more familiar you are with every area and space of your home, the easier it becomes to understand how you can maintain its health or how you can improve it. Another reason it's so important to know the ins and outs of your house is to prevent unforeseen pitfalls. So when you're not aware of every area, you can completely miss a potential problem or issue before it's too late. The thing with houses is that often the systems and components of your home are affected by other systems and components. For example, a leak isn't merely about fixing the plumbing, but it will also require repairs to drywall, as well as in turn figuring out how to lower the humidity levels in that space. Nothing in your home operates inside a vacuum. And so it's really important to understand how each system contributes to the health of our home and how to be aware of what is going on in your space. So if you're in the market for a new home, this is an incredible time to make a healthier choice right off the bat. You can get familiar with your home before you even buy it. The best way to familiarize yourself with your new home is to get an inspection done. And not only that, but attend the inspection and feel free to tag along with your inspector. They can actually show you things about your house you likely haven't even thought of before. An inspection is an invaluable tool when it comes to purchasing a home. It's kind of like a crash course on your specific house. All homes are different, but when an inspector is in your home, everything is relevant to your space. It's also a good idea to take pictures, notes, even videos of any advice your inspector is offering in terms of maintenance or even repairs. An inspection can be incredibly overwhelming, and it can be almost impossible to remember everything you're told or shown. The inspection report can also be a really useful tool. It should be able to tell you your material of your water pipes, how old they are, the model and serial number of your furnace, and even how old your roof may be. So keep a file folder with your report and any of your notes handy. When you're in need of that information, you'll be able to access it and find it right away. Another idea is to create a home binder right away with pertinent information, or keep your home inspection report for reference and add that into your home binder. It's one of the best tools as you begin to take care of your new home. So the majority of us are not necessarily in the space to buy a new home right now. So what do you do if you've lived in your space for a while and you want to familiarize yourself with the areas inside your home and outside your home? I wanted to invite you to my special live classes that I have coming up in a few weeks. These classes are intended to help you understand how to use use your home to really support your body and your wellness, and the steps that you need to take inside your space to make it a space that doesn't burden down your body. One of the biggest mistakes that I see otherwise really healthy families making all the time is that they're overcomplicating creating a healthier space. What they're thinking is that their home has to be completely perfect and completely toxin free to be healthy. Or worse, they're confused and overwhelmed because there's just so much information out there and they're not sure what step to take first. But this all makes complete sense. We're bombarded on a daily basis with scary stories about toxins that we come in contact with daily. And there is such an overabundance of information and opinions that are all about the toxins inside our space. I truly wish that everyone knew creating a toxin-free space doesn't have to be difficult, it doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to feel overwhelmed. So if you would love to find out how to create a healthier home without the guilt, without the overwhelm, and know exactly what steps to take in what order, I would love for you to come to my free training. The link is here, and you can head to my video description for a link as well. So even if you've been in your home for a while, it doesn't mean that you can't still have an inspector walk through. Although this isn't really a common ask, I myself have actually done it with several clients who just needed some of that peace of mind. Other ways you can get familiar with your house would be to look through the original inspection document from your property. Anytime you end up calling a company to repair or update your home, you can make sure to ask them questions about the area that they'll be working in. These contractors and tradespeople are often extremely knowledgeable and can offer you tips and advice on whatever they are working on. I've actually done the same thing in my own home, and while I felt pretty confident in my knowledge of some of the areas that they were working on, I knew that they held so much more knowledge and could give me some really great advice. Finally, you can actually download my guide and checklist to help you familiarize yourself with your home. It can also help to have a home binder to keep all of the valuable information that you've accumulated over time. The more you know, the healthier your home is actually going to be. So let's dive into a lot of those areas that most of us gloss over, we ignore, or maybe don't visit as often as we should. So understanding why something may make a funny noise or how to fix a minor issue can be a huge part of maintaining your appliances and systems in your utility room. Make sure you're familiar with your water heater and that you understand the maintenance that's required. Water and water quality is a huge part of a healthy house. And maintaining your water heater is going to help you maintain your water quality. It's also really important to understand your heating and cooling systems. These can have leaks that pop up from time to time, and often they're minor in nature, but being familiar with your utility room and visiting it often is a good way to catch any problems before they get too big. You also want to use your knowledge here as an advantage. The next time you have to go to the hardware store or you have to call a repair technician, you'll be able to answer any questions they might have about your systems. This way, they can be a better help to you. In your laundry room, it's really important to know where water is being discharged and if you have any sort of venting to keep humidity levels lower. These are the really important things to know in a laundry room, as well as the age of your washing machine and the age of your dryer. You can visit a website that I linked in this week's blog post, input your model and your serial number of any of your laundry appliances. These are often found on the door, and it will help you date the appliances so you know what kind of lifespan you actually have left in them. The garage is the place that I have to admit I am not the best about visiting and keeping tabs on. It's not really easy to see every corner, it's dirty, it's cluttered with kids' toys and tools, and this doesn't make it my first spot to peek around, but it is still really important to be familiar with your garage. The more familiar you are with the space and the more comfortable you are, the more you're going to catch any sort of problem that might be brewing. So look for small holes that moisture or even rodents can get in. These two issues can wreak havoc on a healthy house and cause a lot of problems down the road. You also want to be aware of the foundation in your garage. Watch for crumbling, cracking, or major settling. It's important to uncover some areas every now and then so you can actually see what's going on. It might mean moving a workbench out a bit and peeking at the wall, or it might mean sliding out a shoe shelf to make sure that nothing is going on behind it. Another big area is your basement or your foundation. So especially if you live in a part of the country where your home has a full basement, basements are usually not our first stop, but it's important to know what is going on with them. You should be able to tell if your basement is more humid than normal or if it has an unusual musty smell. It's also important to look at the foundation walls to make sure they aren't damp, cracked, or severely shifting. If your basement is a finished space, it can be tricky to detect these things, but you can still feel the walls to make sure they aren't soft, and you can use a moisture meter to detect what kind of moisture levels are going on whatever sort of surface you have on the walls. You can also look around with a flashlight in every corner and covered area to make sure that you don't spot any water damage. A home that has a humid basement can potentially have a problem with mold, humid indoor air, or structural problems. So while the attic isn't an area I recommend visiting all the time, it is important to maybe once a year make it a habit for someone in your house to shine a flashlight into your attic and take a look around. You want to check the sheathing, which is the underside of the roof, for water damage or leaks. It's also a really good idea to check the insulation. Make sure there aren't any signs of rodents burrowing in that soft material. And this will help you know if you have an area of your exterior that needs to be sealed or repaired before it's an even bigger problem. Finally, we want to talk about the exterior. So in the fall and in the spring, make it a habit to walk around your house. Get to know what your soil around your house typically looks like. This way, you're going to be able to tell if at any point the grade of your soil is negative and allowing moisture to seep back in towards your foundation. It's also a really good idea to just look at windows and siding to make sure there aren't any areas that are compromised. It's actually really amazing what you can catch when you just do a visual walkthrough. Using the checklist that I have on my website, it will help you know just what to get familiar with and what to keep track of on the outside of your house as well as the inside. So if you're anything like me, you know that a checklist makes things a million times easier, and that's exactly why I have created the download for this week, which is a home binder printable. You can use it in your own home and fill in your own information. The home binder printable is perfect to keep handy as you can record some of the vital information about your home systems and appliances in it. Keeping track of each and every system of your house will help when it comes time to improve your home, and it'll give you ideas of where you can make it healthier. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you can take at least one idea from this week's video and apply it into your own home. If you would like to download my binder printable or get more information on anything I talked about today, I have the blog post linked in the video description where you can get all of the downloads, all of the extra links, and more information on your healthy house. If this video was helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new tips and ideas on creating a space that truly supports your health and your wellness.